Audible? Yes. Is it still good?
That's good.
I am Bhikkhuni Avera along with Ayya Suchita this evening, and we are hosting live from Dhammadharini this evening. And today's schedule would be like Ayya Brahmavara would be sharing the Dhamma reflection with us this evening. And she would not be joining in as a person, but she has very warmly and compassionately shared the Dhamma teachings with us in a video form. So we would be playing it this evening after the Dhamma chanting and few minutes of meditation. And if somebody has any questions or comments or reflections to share with us, then we can proceed it after the Dhamma reflections of Ayya Brahmavara. Yes. So before proceeding, I would invite everyone to join their hands, hold their faith in their hearts, and gather their energies towards the Dhamma chanting. Yes.
Araham
Samma Sambuddho Bhagavan Buddhang Bhagavan Vivademi
Swakato
Bhagavata Dhamma Namasami
Supatipanno
Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangha Namami
Namo tassa
Bhagavato
bhagavato
Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti piso Bhagava Arahato Samma Sambuddho Vichacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisadhamma Sarati Sattva Deva Manusana Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Santitiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Panaiko Pachatam Veditapo Vinyo Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sami Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadidam Chatari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo
Dakineyo Anjali Karandiyo Anutaram Punyam Ketam Lokasati.
Now, I would be requesting on behalf of all the lay yogis, upasakas, and upasikas, Ayya, to give us 3 refuges and 5 precepts. So everybody can repeat along with me or after me, but I would be putting forth the request to Ayya on behalf of all. Maya maye visum visum rakhanataya tisaranena saha panchasilani yachama dutiyampi mayam aye visum visum rakhanataya tisaranena saha panchasilani yachama Tadiyampi mayamaye visum visum rakhanataya saranena saha panchasilani yachama.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Tassa bhagavato arahato Gacchami Sangha Yampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Tutiyampi Sanghang Gacchami Tatiyampi Bhutang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi to the 5 precepts. Atipata veramani sikkhapadang sammadiyami. Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang Veramani sikkhapadang sammadiyami. Musawada veramani sikkhapadang sammadiyami. Surameraya majappamaddatthana veramani sikkhapadang sammadiyami.
I can just repeat the precepts that we took in English as well.
Apapa sa akarana kusala supasampada sacita pariyodapana etang bhutana sasana.
Change this.
Ananta guna sampanna janeti janaka upo maya pitu nama dewanda misadarang etena sachavacena sada soti bhavantu me. Chera chariyati gunutara nusasaka anya te dino vare namamiha ete nasachavacena hotu me jayamangala.
We do Metta Bhavana.
Sabe sata sukhita hontu avera hontu abhyapacha hontu anika hontu sukhiyata pariyarantu.
Yeah. I hear some feedback around the difficulty in audio cutting. Is it still the same for everyone or is it better? Better? Okay.
Better.
Better, yes.
Shari has an announcement to make.
Hello, this is Shari. I wanted to let everyone know that Dhammadharini will be celebrating its 20th anniversary this coming Saturday, August 9th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And hoping that Ayatata Loka will be able to appear during that time to all of us. And there will be another online celebration on August 16th. And please find information about that at dhammadharini.net. So hope to see everybody at the anniversary. Thank you.
And we would also be inviting everybody in person, like Paula would be guiding and inviting all for the occasion as well. But yeah, now let us gather in our energies and settle in with our breaths. So everybody can sit in a comfortable posture, keep their back, neck, and head straight. Close their eyes gently. And focus their attention on the breath. As it comes in and as it goes out. Sometimes people prefer to also take some intentional, long, deep in and out breaths to settle in. You can also try that. Connecting the breath energies with the entire body, feeling the fresh breath and nourishing the body naturally, gently, and allowing the body to calm down naturally. Try to find the breath that feels relaxing to the body, and feel the breath in all different parts of the body as it comes in, as it goes out. If there is any tightness or tension in any part of the body, allow it to gently relax with the incoming breath and allow it to flow out with the outgoing breath. As we connected the mindfulness of breath with mindfulness of the body, and now as with mindfulness of feelings, let us allow our sensitivity to grow a little further and relax the mind with all the incoming breath energies gently flowing in. Allow the mind to also drop different ideas in which it has a tendency to wander into. Gently telling it to keep it aside for some time. Very gently, slowly creating a space, some empty space in our vessel. While bringing ease and comfort to the body. Trying to be mindful even as the breath gets more subtle and silent. Maintain a stable awareness of the breath coming in and the breath going out. Natural breath, normal breath as it comes in and as it goes out. Being mindful and aware of every part of the body where the breath touches, like the nostrils, gently going in around and scanning also the mouth, the entire food pipe, the neck, shoulders, the lungs, the entire upper part of the body, the entire torso, the intestines, gently going down towards our right leg, right foot, till the ankle and nails, right feet. Similarly, going through the left foot, left leg, till the ankle, nails. Filling the body with the good breath energies. And slowly opening and expanding the awareness as we come up in the entire back. Gently going through both the hands, forearm, palm, fingers, nails, coming up and connecting with the shoulders, and also gently going all across our face, our head, our eyes, ears, and as we connected with the body, try a little deeper in breath, connecting the entire body with incoming breath, relaxing the entire body with the long, relaxing out breath. While staying connected this way with the body, I invite you all to also pay little attention towards the Dhamma sharing, very compassionately offered by Ayya Brahmavara.
To begin with, I'd like to pay homage to the Buddha and to the Triple Gem. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Buddham dhammam sangham namasami. Greetings, dear friends. It's wonderful to be able to offer some Dharma to the community there at Dhammadharini and all of the wider community of lay friends and supporters of the monastery. I'm aware that the theme for the Vassa this year is walking the path of liberation, the benefits of practicing Dhamma and Vinaya for everyone. So this is a wonderful theme, and I'd like to see if I can reflect a little on this subject. It is traditional for us during the Vassa, isn't it, friends, to focus on the Dhamma Vinaya, perhaps more intently, and particularly to give time for study of the Vinaya, to familiarize ourselves more with the rules that we're following, this container for our practice, to keep our lives simple and entirely wholesome. So the Vinaya is a great protection for the monastics, and indeed for all of us, because we can consider the monastics have a number of rules that we follow, and enough rules that we need to really keep reminding ourselves and refreshing our knowledge of these rules. And yet for all of us, every practicing Buddhist, there are the precepts. And in a way, the precepts we can remember, the 5 precepts, the 8 precepts, the 10 precepts. It's not difficult to remember these guidelines, but we can constantly and consistently refresh our understanding and our practice of these precepts. And of course, the benefit of keeping the precepts, following the Buddha's guidance in this way, is that we live lives that are blameless, we're free from remorse, and we're safe for others. We're not a cause of harm in any way, and we're a cause of safety and fearlessness for all those around us. How beautiful is that? And the benefit of that for us is immediate, ongoing, moment by moment, as much as we try, strive, make effort to keep the precepts. We don't always succeed, and we may feel at times we've let ourselves down, we stepped outside of the safe container that the precepts provide for us. It may not be that we've committed murder or theft or adultery, that we've taken intoxicants or we've blatantly lied to others, but there may be in more subtle ways, some stepping away from this path of practice, harmlessness. And when we have experiences of unskillful speech or not quite managing to refrain from harm in one way or another, then we can really reflect and use the quality of remorse, the hiriotapa, the shame and moral dread that we experience at such times, as a learning tool to help us to explore, why and how our transgression came about, what was playing out. Generally, we'd find there would be some hindrance or other, or a combination of hindrances that had arisen to create unskillfulness in the mind and then in the speech or the actions as a result of that. So we can explore. It's an opportunity to learn and to see where there's defilements in the heart, how they manifested, and then we can make amends. And through apologizing or putting right what we can, coming to a place of acknowledgement of the harm that's been done, is enormously healing for those around us if they've been harmed by our speech or actions. When we make amends as best we can, this is one thing we can do, and also within ourselves we make a determination, don't we, to try not to transgress in that way again, to try and polish our virtue, our sila. And all of this learning, all of this experience, we gain so much through making mistakes and having the chance to reflect on what has been done, what has been said. And this is progress in the Dhamma, in the Buddha's dispensation. This is great progress. And so we don't have to feel guilty or punish ourselves or overly berate ourselves, but rather use the experience to purify the heart, to improve, and to let that be a source of inspiration for ourselves and for others. It surely is a source of inspiration. So these Vinaya rules are a great support for us and a way for us to train, to make progress on the path of practice. How wonderful. And the Dhamma, of course, is our guide in terms of the Buddha's teachings. I think of the Dhamma in this context as the teachings of the Buddha, the truth the Buddha shared, the way of practice the Buddha shared, and how much we benefit from our having come into contact with the Buddha's teachings, to have any inkling of the Dhamma, to have any the understanding of the Dhamma, to have the opportunity to hear teachings and to study the suttas and the Vinaya, the Buddhist texts. How valuable is this for us to be guided? We have conditioning through our lives from birth. We're taught so many things. We're of the nature that we will follow others. Little children, you can see how they will emulate and copy big sister, big brother, or their parents, other children. We mimic and copy in order to learn, and we are so influenced by one another, by the views and opinions and the cultural mores that we grow up in. And it may be that many of these things are positive and good, but also sometimes there can be ignorance imbuing these conditionings, these ways of learning, and there may even be unskillfulness, harmfulness in ways of thinking and relating to others and relating to ourselves. Personally, I can say, for instance, I was brought up in Britain, or mostly not in Britain, but as a British citizen, traveled to many different countries as my father worked for the Royal Air Force for some of the time, and otherwise for various companies. And we would go to far-flung places where most of the people are people of colour, and we turn up as white colonial types. There was a sense of superiority, I would say, that was quite unconscious most of the time, but a sense of coming from a wealthier place, of being more privileged. And we stood apart because of our skin colour in many of the places where I lived. And I can say that this conditioning, on reflection over years, I can appreciate how painful it is to consider ourselves as separate from others, to consider ourselves as superior to others, and to, in a way, not feel a kind of healthy sense of shame around the privilege that we had, not because of any particular merit or good qualities that we were born with or that we cultivated, but rather just because of the geopolitical way of the world at this time. And so where we're born has a great impact on the kind of lives that we have. A little baby born in Gaza at this time is going to have a very different upbringing, if they're lucky enough to survive, have a very different sense of their place in the world, a very different degree of welcome. And this is a very tragic thing that we can reflect on, and we can say that the workings of karma are mysterious, and how can we possibly understand why people have such different experiences from birth? But we can be very conscious that the conditioning that we receive as human beings in whatever culture we're in, whatever family we're born into, whatever the circumstances we find ourselves in, this is all to be let go of. And any conditioning that is tinged with any kind of harmful views and opinions, with ignorance, which it inevitably will be, this is for us to tease out, to explore, to examine, and to let go of any unwholesome, dark, unhelpful aspects of this conditioning. And so it is with the Dhamma Vinaya, we get the opportunity to really plant our feet on solid ground, because the Buddha's teaching is for everyone. It's a universal teaching, and it leads us towards freedom, towards the good, towards well-being, towards insight. And so the precepts can, through following the precepts of harmlessness, not taking what isn't given, avoiding any kind of sexual misconduct, avoiding intoxicants that dull the mind and confuse the mind, and avoiding any kind of insincerity, any distortions of the truth. These precepts can really reflect back for us where we've come from and allow us to let go of so much of our history, friends. According to the Buddha, we can consider that we've had many, many past lives, many different situations, and all of this has led to this moment, this situation. And we want to be able to very wisely and clearly, reflect on how it is that we may find ourselves falling short of these simple 5 precepts in our lives because of past conditioning. And so we can see how it is that entire cultures, nations, groups may have standards, conditions that don't fulfill these 5 precepts. And this is an opportunity for us to step away from unwholesome views, from harmful practices that we may have grown up with, from harmful ways of viewing others. And so I feel, we all come together in the Buddha's teaching as brothers and sisters and have a chance to free ourselves of so much history, of so much delusion, illusion. And it's a process that is so, in a way, one could say fascinating, to disentangle ourselves from all of the conditioning that we begin to notice as we simplify, as we renounce, as we let go of the sense of self through the Dhamma teachings, as we recognize life is to be looked at through the lens of the 3 characteristics. These 3 lenses, this is the Dhamma that is leading us toward Nibbana, that is of such great benefit for us. The Buddha explained that all things, all experiences that we can have in this realm of, actually in any realm in samsara, are characterized by these 3 qualities: unsatisfactoriness or imperfection or suffering, dukkha, impermanence, constant change, instability, that is anicca, and the lack of any kind of personhood here, of any kind of self. How can there be a self when things are constantly changing? They're completely out of our control. Anatta. So we can reflect in these ways, using these 3 qualities, these 3 characteristics of reality. This Dhamma that the Buddha gave us, this truth seeing, to see, to investigate all experience and see how absolutely every experience is changing, moving, shifting, impermanent, is inherently unsatisfactory and cannot be owned, cannot be identified with. When we see clearly, we find that any sense of identification, any sense of self must fall away, must dissolve. So this guidance from the Buddha, this Dhamma that helps us to let go of the conditioning, the past conditioning, and to develop in goodness, in harmlessness, and to purify our hearts through meditation practices, through taking in the teachings of the Buddha and reflecting on them. And of course, the framework the Buddha gave in his first teaching was that of the Four Noble Truths. This other aspect of Dharma I'd like to touch on today, something for us to consider constantly, these Four Noble Truths, pointing to dukkha as the first noble truth, unsatisfactory. If we are able to see clearly and take on board this first noble truth, then we have the natural wish and inclination to free ourselves from this dukkha, from this brokenness, from this unsatisfactoriness, a whole spectrum from mildly unsatisfactory to intense suffering that we can experience. How much we want to free ourselves when we really open to this first noble truth of dukkha. If we really open our hearts fully, it's as if our head is on fire. We want to put the fire out as quickly as possible. We can develop a sense of urgency. And so to contemplate this first noble truth given to us by the Buddha is for our great benefit. People can say it sounds quite negative to be focusing on suffering and imperfection when life has its good moments. Yet we can appreciate that anicca, the good moments, don't last. And that is unsatisfactory. And how can we rely on sense pleasures, on fleeting satisfaction, when we can observe that nothing lasts? It's actually a wake-up call for us to open to the truth of anicca, anatta, dukkha. And so we can really reflect on this first noble truth and allow ourselves to incline then towards escape, seeing the danger in samsara, recognizing, there is some pleasures and delights to be had, but the danger is that they don't last. And so what is the escape? When we begin to really incline our hearts towards the Dhamma, when we appreciate and open to the first noble truth, and then the second noble truth the Buddha gave, the cause of suffering, desire, wanting things to be other than the way they are. And here's the whole gamut, isn't it, friends, of desire in all its multiplicity, and then the other side is, of course, aversion, from the mildest irritability to the most all-consuming anger, rage, hatred, enmity. And all of these defilements are due to the root cause of wanting things to be other than the way they are. Finding fault with reality, having a sense of ownership of reality so that we feel we should be able to manipulate and control the way things are. And all of the suffering that this entails, this struggle that we've been engaged in for so long. So the second noble truth, how clear, how helpful the Buddha pointed to the cause of suffering, the cause of disquiet, the cause of restlessness. All of it comes down to this argument with reality. And so can we investigate and see when there's a sense of unease, a sense of suffering of any kind, what is actually happening here? Which defilement has arisen? Is there ill will, aversion? Is there desire, wanting, restlessness, dullness, or doubt? These 5 hindrances will be playing out, one or more than one. And so we can investigate the source of our suffering. And through doing this, we can come to the third noble truth, which is the end of suffering, which is the letting go of that defilement, of that desire-based defilement, of that reactivity. And then, of course, the Buddha gave us the fourth noble truth, which is the way, the path, the prescription, the treatment for the dis-ease, the noble eightfold path. And so this beautiful aspect of Dhamma then is for us to study, investigate, and apply in our lives. So this is the most rich and full teaching that the Buddha gave. There's so much more ways in which he taught the Dhamma, but to really focus on the Eightfold Path, this aspect, the fourth noble truth of the Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, we can apply in every moment of our lives. We can bring it in to this Vassa and study and investigate the Eightfolds to develop the harmlessness, right speech, right action, and right livelihood, following the precepts, doing good. How much there is for us to consider here, to develop our meditation practice. Vassa is a wonderful time for this. People have a chance to have retreats, short or long periods of retreat time very often, and even with the Vinaya classes that often take place, and the group activities, and the people coming and visiting the monastery, and the various teaching opportunities for the Sangha, for the monastics, all of this can be kind of the waves of the surface of the ocean, but we can keep our heads well in under the surface and all the time reflect on these path factors of right mindfulness, right effort, and right samadhi, right stillness. Keep developing these qualities, keep training the mind, focusing on awareness, on presence, mindfulness in every moment. It's helpful to be paying attention to the body, to watch the breath whenever we can, to feel the feet on the ground as we move around, to eat mindfully, to, when we retire at night, to allow ourselves to pay attention to the body right up until the last moment before we drop into sleep. And when we wake up in the morning, we can train ourselves to immediately start watching the breath, feeling the body, paying attention, developing mindfulness from the very first moment that we wake up and all through our day, you know. And we can notice if we're developing mindfulness through the day, making good effort in this way, we can notice how peaceful it is, how grounded we feel, how centered, how we are much less likely to be ruffled or shaken by events around us. And we can notice that when and if we lose mindfulness, we're swept up, caught up, reacting to life or immersed in activities, conversations, happenings in our lives. We can notice when we come back to mindfulness just what's happened and see why and how we get distracted. And so whether we're managing to maintain mindfulness throughout the day or we're in and out of mindfulness and oftentimes quite unaware of what's going on really, it's okay, because we then have a chance to reflect on that. When we sit and meditate, it will tend to come up. The moments that we've lost mindfulness will come up for us into the mind, and we'll be able to reflect on what happens and how it is that we kind of were on autopilot, or we were reacting, or we were lost in some flood of emotion or thinking, obsessions in the mind. So all of this is teaching us. The Dharma is constantly teaching us when we align our hearts with the Buddha's teachings. The Vinaya helps us so much because when we're living in a wholesome way and also in a simple way, a more renounced way, then we have more space to consider and reflect on all the happenings of our days. And the other aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path, of course, is the wisdom aspect. Panya, right view and right intention. I've considered these to be the most important aspects for us to continually bring into the mind and consider. Right view, of course, is this contemplation of the Four Noble Truths themselves, to keep referring to the Four Noble Truths, see the suffering, see the dukkha, and consider the causes, root out the causes, investigate the causes. To see suffering is to deal with suffering. When we're willing to keep bringing to mind, where is the dukkha, then we can investigate more deeply the causes of dukkha, and we're alive in the practice, and we're purifying the heart. And so to bring in right view is to let the Four Noble Truths inform us throughout our day. Bring them in and consider them. Where is the suffering? What is the cause? Letting go of the cause happens through this willingness to understand what's happening and following the Eightfold Path. And we can constantly consider the path factors and how we can strengthen them, which are our weak points and what are our strong points, and see how all the different path factors nourish one another, support one another. And so right view is our guiding light in our lives, this aspect of Dhamma. And then right intention, this path factor, supporting our harmlessness, non-cruelty and non-harm, these two aspects of right intention, so important for us, leading us to developing in our practice of sila, keeping the precepts, compassionately with a heart of loving kindness. Compassion and loving kindness are so helpful, so valuable for us on the path of practice. The other aspect of right intention, of course, is renunciation. So this willingness to let go, the willingness to let go of suffering through seeing the causes of suffering, feeling how it is that we suffer and why we suffer, feeling it in the body through our meditation practice, investigating every nuance of the unease that is there for us. And renunciation through the letting go of anything extraneous, friends. The Vassa's a time, particularly for the monastics, to be willing to simplify still further. We've let go of all possessions, we've let go of control of money and decision making, we've let go of so much clutter in our hearts and minds, but there's always opportunities to renounce further. And so we can investigate what are the things that we're most attached to, what are the sense pleasures we're still indulging in. How is it if we consider letting go of our favorite drink or our favorite activity at this particular time? How is it to really consider that stickiness that might be there in relation to my views and opinions about this or that, and to consider how we can keep developing renunciation, because everything we give up, everything that we may be a little bit or a lot tethered to, that we can let go of, that much freedom we can experience. And so renunciation, this aspect of right intention, is such an invitation to simplify our lives, to make more space, to reduce the amount of activity, mental activity, physical activity, verbal activity, to let go of manifesting in all these different ways more and more, so that we come to a place of quietude, simplicity, spaciousness in our lives. And so letting right view and right intention guide us throughout this time, throughout this Vassa, actually throughout our lives of practice. This is the way. And so in this way, the Dhamma, these aspects of the Dhamma, are supporting us and of inestimable benefit for us. The great benefit of the Buddha's teaching, the Dhamma and the Vinaya that we follow as monastics, the rules we follow as lay people, the precepts that we keep, the benefits of all of this are that they are leading us forward, inclining us toward Nibbana. And this blessing is beyond words, isn't it, friends? To be able to liberate our hearts from suffering, to be able to feel the inexorable lightening of the heart, to be able to notice the blossoming of joy in our hearts, to be able to appreciate the clarity of wisdom, of insight that develops over time as we continue to practice. This is beyond words, this blessing of the Dhamma Vinaya that we can appreciate in our lives. And so, as I said, the Vassa is a time for us to really develop the practice, make much of the Dhamma Vinaya, find aspects of the Dhamma that particularly inspire and support us in our practice, and make much of them, and learn about aspects of Dhamma that we're not yet familiar with through reading the suttas, listening to teachings, study and collective conversations on Dhamma, and to learn the Vinaya, to refresh our understanding of the rules that we keep, to investigate the precepts and how we are relating to them day by day, moment by moment in our lives. Keep polishing our conduct, our speech and our thoughts, and not to, as I said, make a big problem of the places where we fall short, but rather let that be our motivation, energize ourselves to improve, to overcome any obstacles that are playing out for us. And so to keep developing in the Buddha's teaching, in the training that we have. This Vassa can be a very precious time for us to make much of the Dhamma Vinaya, and may we all find our way to the perfect peace of Nibbana, guided by the Buddha. Ewam.
We can conclude the Dhamma sharing with 3 sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Yes. And now I open the panel for any comments, questions. Yes. Please go ahead, Deborah. Hello.
Hi. Oh, things have moved around here. Hi, thank you so much. Ayya Suchita, I have a question for you. I was hoping to ask it last week at Clear Mountain, but I didn't get my chance, so I'm excited I can ask tonight. I'm very stuck in. I got laid off about 4 months ago from a job I was at for 10 years, and I'm very stuck in it still mentally. I had a very abusive manager for that time, and was laid off after being out sick for about 2 months, pretty serious illness for 2 months last fall, and then laid me off with really a very poor amount of severance for the amount of time I was there. And I'm finding, because my time now is, I'm kind of working for myself, and my time is unstructured, more amorphous, that I'm still stuck in the anger of the past. And I'm wondering what you can recommend for moving on. Thank you. Can't hear.
No.
Have you think about what the reason was?
Sorry, could you I only heard part of the question. What did I think about? The reason was, sorry, there's no audio.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Please tell me why. The reason was?
That I'm angry, or
Yes.
Yeah.
so I was out with a serious illness for 2 months last year. I'd been there for 10 years, very successful, and even got the year before raises and all those things. And then I got sick for 2 months, and then a few months later they just laid me off by myself. So they laid me off because I had been out sick, basically. And then with very little money for the 10 years I was there. And I dealt with an abusive manager the whole time that I was there. And so I'm angry about all of that.
So now what disturbing you? What is disturbing still?
Oh, I'm sorry, what is this?
Disturbing you now?
I'm really stuck in the anger in the past. Like, I want to move forward and be in the present and kind of let that go. But for some reason, I can't. And I don't know if it's because it was 10 years is a long time to be somewhere, and it takes some time to move forward. I'm not sure.
I just recommend you in my way of practice. Can I?
Please.
Yeah. This was also in line with what I gave the people in the Clear Mountain. And then my suggestion is your past is already gone. You lose your job and then you were sick. That is also all gone. Now you are in here this moment. And then even if you think about the past, you cannot change any of that. So just you watching this moment today, what you are doing, watching yourself, what I am doing now. So if you think about the past, you just spend the time for the future. You lost the time for the future. Because if you are stay here, you can add every moment can be create a good way to your life for the future. But if you think about the past and spend all the time every day, there's nothing gain or there is nothing to make better. So just you can take time to watching yourself, what was disturbing me, what kind of thinking disturbing me, and find out. If it was already gone, you just accept all your past, and then think about the future or planning for the good things to do, and then the good things make you the future well. So I just suggest you to watching your mind very carefully and find out the reason. And then if you have that reason cannot make you change this life or this moment or today, you just think about the future and planning for this time. Not for the future, you don't have to think about, but today, if you do well, the next day will be good with this moment. So continue to this moment, always do that. It continue to lead you to good way. Like if you see clearly, like Ayya said, the next one coming to very clear, so you can easy to decide to do something. Also make plan really good fit for you. So just watching this moment, if you have to do something, just do it this moment. Just do it now with the diligent mind, and don't make you depressed. You don't have to make you depressed. Don't feed the depressed thinking. Just lead you in a positive way to think and create something. Also find out what you really like, what you really want to do. That is very important to do this moment with what you really want to do without the past thinking. Also, I recommend them to read Majjhima Nikaya 131 was my that day, the talking about the day of excellent day. So please read the Buddha's word, Majjhima Nikaya 131. It will give you the more understanding, helping your understanding from the verse.
Sadhu, sadhu. Thank you so much.
You are the person who was offering the riding for me?
I was
From the
trying, Jason, I was trying to find somebody because I live a few hours from there. I was trying to help find someone, but I haven't found anybody yet.
I heard your name, so I remember Deborah living around the Santa Rosa.
Yeah, Jason thought I lived close, but I live about probably more like 2 hour 45 minutes away. So I was trying to ask around to see if somebody could take you. So
okay, thank you so much. Anyway, you offered already, so I received.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you. And I wanted to say, I know that you're, Jason's teacher, and his class has been amazing. it has helped my meditation so much. And he speaks so highly of you. So I'm so glad I got the chance to be able to share that with you.
Thank
Yeah.
you too.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu.
Is there any more hands? Okay. What was coming to my mind while listening to Sister Debra was also oftentimes we have some identity different ways. And even like being an employee is an identity that we very cautiously create. And as I see, you work for 10 years. So it's a like big investment of a self, of putting an energy into learning a skill, connecting with people, uh, earning badges and rewards in the company. And that is how it is. Even Buddha appreciates like growing in the skillfulness more and more. And as soon as the challenges starts arising, it's good to also come back to the right effort, where Buddha says, like, it's like again growing in the path, where you can see, oh, is there anything which was lacking in me? May I remove those qualities? Are there any those qualities first, where which are not in me? May they never arise. Like I'm not lazy. I'm not uh, trying to pull my uh, hands off the work. But yeah, you are dedicated, so that's good. And then is there still something which I can improve on? You try to put effort there. If there is something good in you, you try to increase, and the good that is not there yet, you try to develop, you try to cultivate the skill. Even in different identity aspect, it can be really helpful. So that in that way, our mind is more capable of detaching from the external environment, external situation, and it's more focused in growing for itself. It's growing in its own qualities. And in that way, the energy that is getting invested in anger gets invested in growing. And it helps us in different ways. Like we are not getting drained by the different negative draining energies, but we are gently, quietly, calmly forgiving, connecting with loving kindness, compassion. Yes. And grounding in more and more in Dhamma until we are ready to let go. Yeah. That is what comes. Is there any more comments, feedbacks, questions? Oh, thank you, Daniel, for putting the link of Majjhima Nikaya 131 in the chat box. Yes, it's helpful. Any comments, any feedbacks, any questions? Um, Also, oftentimes, oh, yes, Corina, please go ahead.
Hello. Thank you. Um, it's not a huge comment. It's more just a expression of appreciation on the teaching, that it was so comprehensive. It was really like a guidepost or like framework how to hold the life, live one's life. And I can tell that I almost need to go back and listen and sort of like pick, like find my weaknesses, because it was almost like too big. And what it made me realize too was that the kind of insight I can have when I have a regular meditation practice and when I don't, or when I can spend longer time meditating or in retreats and when I can't or don't. So I guess if I have a question, it'd be sort of the importance of a formal meditation practice, because it almost seemed like right view, like understanding it all, how it fits together, how to look at it, how to hold it, is the most important. And at the same time, I don't get really great insights if I don't develop the meditation practice. So that's the question/comment. So it's a question? Yeah, how Kind of question?
Yeah,
how important is the meditation practice, if that's a good way to look at it, like in a ranking style, or like what's the place of the meditation in terms of right view? Okay, I just can give you one answer. If you really wish to be deep inside and gain the wisdom eyes, please let it go. Don't wish anything. Just sitting and enjoy your sitting and enjoy your peaceful time without any wishing desire. You just enjoy the moment. Don't think about any other things. There's no wish. Just enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
They can make you deeper and open your eyes someday. If you wish something, I really want to be like this. I really wanted to see more clearly. I wanted to gain wisdom eyes. You never get it.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. My issue is more that I've had a lot of fatigue and it's been hard to do like the formal meditation. So in a way, I've had more practice with how to live my daily life more skillfully. Like that's sort of been my object, and it's quite helpful. But I find that I don't know if this idea is true, but it almost feels like if I could just sit long enough, I could figure it out. Like that's all I need. I don't need anything else. But I'm not sure if that's true. That is your needing. That is your needing, your desire to sitting longer and find out something from there. That you should not do that. Also, you have a lot of thinking going on for good things, for practice. I know that. But even if it's good for practice, you shouldn't expecting any of that. That is the first thing you have to do. So that's why I always usually say to people, just do it without any expectation. Just do it. You like cooking, like example, you really like cook, or you are very good cook now. Whatever you're cooking, you are very concentration on this. That is also meditation. Not only sitting we can call meditate. For you, sometimes it's good to cooking is more make you concentration on something that can make simple your thought. And when you're sitting, it gives you more peaceful time to get just having peaceful time, enjoy. You can feel I'm enjoying now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is really important for you. Also, I had little bit time with you when you were riding me to Dhammadharini. Also, I felt that kind of feeling. So now you ask me, so I can say. So please make yourself simple without any too much thought. Sitting, just sitting like in Korea, now I know you are deep practitioner. You are already over some stage. But in Korea, we said somebody who could not get it out from that so many thinking, our teachers saying just like joke. When he's sitting 1 hour, came out and teacher asked us, did you watch beautiful movies in our life? So that kind of thing also useless thinkings, just constantly coming and going. You just find out what I really wanted to see clearly. That's all in head without any expectation. Just enjoy this moment. Whatever you're doing, sitting, meditating, or cooking, walking, whatever you're doing, just watching this moment carefully with the comfortable mind. Let it go. Any of thinking come, just let it go. Just concentrate on this moment. Walking, feel the walk, feel the road, feeling of the water. Looking the sky, you can feel from that. That's all. Don't feeding any thinking at that moment. If you do that, you will know what I'm saying. I'm really sure. If you do that, it's not take long because you are already been a long time practitioner. So if you concentrate on this moment, someday, very quickly, you will know what I'm saying. Just be here now. Get rid of all the thought. Simple.
It's very profound teaching, indeed. Like to get over those voices that pulls down of expectations, of planning, of there are big burdens on ourselves. So like it's a good suggestion. As soon as some skillful thought arises, get over it, do it.
You see, I say one thing more. Somebody who very clever and very smart, that kind of people usually have a lot of thought. So they have to get rid of many things. So I said sometimes, don't read any sutras anymore. Just one is enough. Yeah. Because too much always make overwhelm.
Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yes. Now we are getting close to our time. It's already 8:30 and time to wind up. But before winding up, I would like to invite Paula to make some announcement. Yes. And
Thank you. Thank you everyone for your practice. I'm going to share my screen and share some minutes. Okay, so let's see. Had this on a loop for earlier. So our anniversary is coming up on Saturday. So the 20th anniversary of Dhammadharini is being celebrated in person on Saturday, August 9th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Let's see, let me go back. I was auto-playing it and put it off a loop. Here we are. So yeah, if you could come in person, it would be amazing. There are going to be so many special guests, and it's going to be a really great celebration of 20 years. And then also there are online programs for those who cannot join us in person. So the online program should span most of the time zones so everyone can join. There are volunteer opportunities to help out in so many ways. So there's more information on the website to help out. You can help out on a one-time basis. You can join a committee or the board of directors. There are many ways to help. There are many ways to donate and support the Sangha as well. And there are wonderful links on the website of how to do that. And so thank you for everyone for joining us and practicing with us.
So you're muted, Ayya.
Thank you. So before concluding today's session, let us take a few moments to express our gratitude for this opportunity, for this life today. Gratefully sharing our merits with Wat Buddhanusorn for creating this beautiful opportunity for Sangha to gather together, to have some chanting. Also to the Dhammadharini Monastery, Ayya Taluka, to the Sangha, to Ayya Brahmavara, and all of us who, despite our different life and challenges, were able to fulfill the noble intention and come together to practice Dhamma, to listen to Dhamma, and to walk the intention to free ourselves from the suffering. Yes, with deep respect for ourselves to following this intention, and with kind appreciation and gratitude. Let us stop here with three sadhus, indeed.
Sadhu,
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 sadhu.
sadhu.
Yes. Thank you for joining again. Hope to see you on the anniversary program and also on next Sunday and Tuesday live sessions for more
Thank you.
discussion. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.